All right, I think we are now live. Hey, players, welcome to another live stream here on my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Josh. Every single week, I make videos sharing tips, ideas, and stories teaching you how to be your best self. And in this live stream, we're going to be covering 5 tough situations that might stop you from dating your crush. These are going to be things that you might encounter along the way if you have restrictive parents, if you come from different backgrounds, if you see red flags and things that you may not think are good and stuff you want to pursue. We're going to kind of tackle a lot of those tough situations. Now, before I get into those points, though, I definitely want to give shout outs to the early birds here in the chat. So if you're someone in here that's coming in for the first time, if you're a regular viewer of the live stream, jump in the chat right now, say hi, and I will give you guys your shout out. Let's see who we got here. Softwheat, good to see you, man. Softwheat says Josh is refueling his water. Yep, got my water right here. I'm ready. Ravage for Savages here. Hamish is here. Anthony Quentel. Dono the Gamer. Good to see you, Dono. Phoenix is in here. Yancey is in here. Rock Kid 526. James Cooper. Victorio Campos. That one guy. Anthony James. Papa Weiss. I'm not sure I said that right. Weiss. Jacoby Durant. Joshua Sevilla. Rage Masters in here. Demogorgon Boy. Emma Peterson. Good to see you, Emma. Let's see. Shotgun Brandon, I think I read that right, even though shotgun starts with a 5. Shotgun Brandon, Nick Ty, James Cooper, Noah Yash, Noah, good to see you as well. Yelsha is trash, AXB21 Reactor, Austin, Max Napier, Andrija, Nigel Williams. Nigel, always a pleasure to have you. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, The Opposite Storyline, welcome. Kakashi Hataki, Black Scope, Mystify LOL, Synchro Legend, Carlo Polenius, Josh Cole Brown, Ryan Razon. We got a lot of people in here, a lot of new people as well as a lot of recurring faces. So it's good to see you guys in here. I'm excited to kind of talk about this topic because I've talked to a lot of you guys in individual conversations, and I think that most of you have had at least one of these 5 different types of experiences. Not all of you, but most of you have. So I think that covering these and kind of sharing some tips on how to approach them, how to handle them, I think is going to be super beneficial. So I definitely want to get into those. I do want to say this though, guys. As you go through the stream, if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button. The more likes this gets, the more people that it reaches out to, and YouTube algorithm shares it and all that stuff. Plus, if you become a YouTube channel member, if you become a new subscriber, if you are someone that interacts or donates a super chat, your name will pop up right over here. So that's something I think you guys can all know, but most important thing, hit the thumbs up button. And as I kind of walk through these 5 points, I want to let you guys know that you have the super chat function. I use them as burning questions. If you send a super chat, $1, $2, $5, whatever it is, I'll stop what I'm doing midpoint. I will address your question. I view it as a burning question, something that's on the top of your mind that, hey, you have me live right now. You want to get my advice or my answer on something? This is the opportunity and the chance to do it. Use the super chat function for that reason. Okay, let's jump into the very first point in here. And then I'm going to kind of jump in and see what you guys are saying in the chat, answer some questions as I go through these 5 points. Point number 1. When we're talking about tough situations that might prevent you, it might make it hard, it might just stop you altogether from dating your crush, this is one of the most common ones. Your parents won't let you date them. Whether it's your parents or their parents, sometimes parents tend to get in the way. They don't want you dating because you're too young. They don't want you dating because they want you to focus on school. They don't want you dating because they don't feel like you're mature enough or old enough, or maybe they don't trust the person that you want to date and they're afraid they don't have good intentions. Parents can sometimes put that really hard roadblock on us and prevent us from moving forward, but it's not always a bad thing, and I think that's something that's hard for us to kind of figure out. So let's really talk about that. What is the situation when parents won't let you date? How do you get past that? What do you do? Well, if you're in a situation where your parents just flat out tell you, nope, you're not allowed to date, you're too young, they're too young, you have to focus on schoolwork, whatever the reason is, ultimately try to understand this. Your parents are trying to come from a place where they're trying to protect you, right? That's their, I think, original framework where they're thinking about it. They're afraid that the relationship might end up causing you to feel hurt or depressed or sad. They may be afraid that it might interfere with schoolwork and that you might stop caring about class and you might focus so much on the relationship that you just kind of derail your life going forward. Now, it doesn't mean that's what's going to happen, but I think that's where most parents are coming from when they have that fear and hesitation in allowing you to date. And it could be an incredibly tough situation because as you're getting older, you're starting to develop your feelings, starting to understand what you like in a person. Maybe you've come across a crush that you really want to get to know better and you really want to date, but this roadblock of your parents is just stopping you. And even worse, what do you do if it's your crush's parents that are stopping them from dating you? This is something I've talked about in videos, and I've talked to a lot of you guys about as well. So I want to jump in here. Let's do a chat poll because I'm curious. Chat poll, guys, jump in the chat right now, write yes or no. Have your parents ever gotten involved in your love life, in your relationships, in you wanting to date someone? Have they ever involved themselves? That could be in trying to control whether or not you date someone. That could be in just asking way too many questions that feel like, hey, leave me alone, I want to figure this out on my own. Have your parents ever butt into your relationships? For me, I think that my parents have always asked, when I was younger, my parents would always ask questions, but they kind of were respectful of my space. They didn't really kind of prohibit me from dating anyone, or they never told me that I was too young to start dating, because by the time I started dating, I was already 16 or so. So, I was a little bit older. They were a little bit more okay with it, but sometimes parents do get involved. So have your parents ever kind of got involved in your relationship dating life? Here's what you guys had to say. Yancey says no. Black Scope says yes. Yelsha says nope. Andrea, I don't remember that. Know what that says. It says no. Cheesy says, Aiden, you must sleep. Aiden, if it's late, go to sleep, man. Black Scope says yes. Josh Sevilla says yes. James Cooper, no. Ty Reed says, hey, good to see you, Ty. Ravage says no, because I hid the secret from them. That's part of it, I think, right? Black Scope says yes. Nicola says no. Josh Cole, nope. Jake says, unfortunately, yes. Josh Sevilla says yes. Black Scope, no. Dono says no. I'm seeing, let's see, yes. Naja, yes. Nick, yes. Ryan Razon, yes. Black Scope's a big yes. Ty with the yes as well. So it seems like there's a mix here. Some of you guys have been in that situation. Some of you haven't. Right? Now, if you're someone that has had your parents try to interfere in your relationship, try to get involved, here's what I think you can do. To navigate those tough situations, what your parents are really looking for, or their parents are really looking for, is for you to demonstrate a sense of maturity, a sense that you're able to manage and maintain a relationship without it affecting the other things involved in your life. Think about it like when you're getting a pet, right? Like sometimes parents don't want to get you a pet because they're afraid that you might not take care of it, you might not walk it, you might get bored of it, and they feel like that pet may then become someone else's responsibility. You're not going to kind of own up and be mature enough to take care of that scenario that you've created. And sometimes parents are afraid that that's going to happen if you get into a relationship. So what you need to show them is that you're willing to be open and honest with them along the way when it comes to having that relationship. If you can talk to your parents and you can say to them, look, I really like this girl, or I really like this guy, and I want to date them and I want to get to know them better. And I promise you that I'm going to let you know what's going on along the way. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to cross any lines that I know you wouldn't feel comfortable with me doing. I want to be ultimately respectful of your choices and your decisions. And I hope that you can give me a little bit of wiggle room to make my own decisions too. I think that if you can show that to your parents, you could show that sense of maturity, they may start to rethink their idea of you dating. They may start to say, okay, well, as long as they're not going to hide things from me, as long as they're not going to lie about things, right? If you can be more transparent with your parents, I think they're going to be more open and trusting of you. Now, I want to jump in here with some of you guys have to say. I know a bunch of you guys have had experiences with your parents getting involved. Jump in the comments right now. Share your stories. Share your experiences. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Noah Ayash says, I honestly don't know, even though my mom does know about my current crush. Yeah, Noah, I think that, sometimes we don't really know how our parents would feel, mainly because our parents may not know about our dating lives. They may not ask a lot of questions. We may be scared to talk about it because we're afraid they may react in a way we don't want them to. Guile says, yeah, my father said he doesn't trust her. So Giles, yeah, and that's another thing too. Sometimes parents have a perception of the person that you want to date, and that may be the wrong perception, or it may be a negative perception, only because they haven't gotten to know them better. So if you want to kind of help that person's image in your parents' eyes, I think one good thing is, like I said, build transparency there. If your parents can see you interacting with that person more, maybe you want to jump on a FaceTime call and, turn to your parents when they're on and have them say hi to your parents and then go back to your call. That little gesture of allowing the person you want to date to say hi to your parents, and your parents to say hi to them, I think humanizes them more. It allows your parents to see, okay, they're a good kid, they're trying here, and that's gonna go a long way. Trust me on that. Let's see. I can't pronounce the name. It's in Russian though. Pycko. I know that's not Pycko if it's Russian characters, but anyway, says, "Hi Josh, what should I do if my crush, Anthony?" That is creepy. The emoji face you made. Says, "Hi Josh, what should I do if my crush rejected me because her friends really, really hate me? I really know it's because of that. Can you tell me what I should do, please?" Yeah, look, if your crush's friends hate you, it's important to try to reshape the relationship they may have with you. They may hate you because maybe they think you're creepy or you've done something weird or they don't know you that well. So the best thing you can do is to make the effort to get to know them. Now, you might think, okay, I want to get to know all the friends. I would say focus on one friend at a time. Pick the person who is the closest to your crush and talk to them. Introduce yourself to them. Get to know them better. Learn a little bit more about them. Because what you're going to end up seeing is there'll be a ripple effect that happens. As you get to know your crush's best friend, as they start to feel like, okay, he's a pretty cool and interesting person to talk to, then they're going to tell your crush that. They're going to tell the other friends that. And soon you're going to start to see the public image that you have with these people is going to start to change as they get to know you better. Jalen says, my crush's boyfriend, I missed it. My crush's boyfriend is being friendly to me, but I still like her. What do I do? Jalen, yeah. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. It's possible that your crush's boyfriend is being friendly because they don't really think that you will go behind their back and ask out their girlfriend. Maybe they understand that you like them, but you're willing to be friendly with them, so they're respectful back towards you. I think that them being your crush's boyfriend being friendly with you isn't so much an indication of like, oh, are they okay with me flirting with my crush? It's more an indication that they feel comfortable with you. Now, the question is, are you open to just being respectful back and to not crossing any boundaries? If you are, then you can maintain a friendship with all of them. Let's see. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon says, my parents made me wait until I turned 18 for anything. A crush of any kind, being home alone, and a lot of other things. I'm now 18, but oh well. Yeah, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, I get where you're coming from on that. Sometimes parents have, I would say, very strict rules where it's like, hey, until you're 18, until you're considered an adult, you can't do X, Y, and Z. And I think that, like I said, a lot of times we look at it like, oh, are we doing something wrong? Did I make a mistake? Am I a bad kid? But sometimes parents themselves have their own insecurities that they're working through. And it's a matter of them learning how to loosen that control, right? That's part of parenthood too. It's knowing when you maybe have to set restrictions for your kids and when you can be a little bit more open, a little bit more lenient, and a little bit more understanding. Right? As we get older, we have to learn, and we learn by making our own mistakes and trying new things. And sometimes if parents prevent us from doing that, they actually make it harder for us to navigate in the real world. Anthony James says, Josh, I'm not really focused on anyone right now. I'm only focused on my films. When my films are out, I'll send it to you. Even though I like a girl right now, I got 4 more years of school left that I should focus on. Anthony, totally get where you're coming from. I would love to check out your films. I think it'd be super cool to see what you're working on. Demogorgon says, my brother saw me texting my crush and he called me a simp. So look, I have a video coming out in the near future all about this simp idea, right? What does it mean to be a simp? How do we avoid being a simp? I think that people use it as, because it's, the word now that people are using, people use it as an insult to try to demean you, right? But if we dig a little deeper into what it means to be a simp, right? Ultimately, what we're saying is that you're not being honest and genuine when you interact with someone, that you're willing to give a person all that they want at your own expense. So it's not a mutual relationship. It's actually a one-way relationship. So yes, simp is an insulting word, but I think it's more important to focus on, hey, in the relationship that I'm trying to build with this person, are they giving back? Are they asking me questions about myself? Are they interested in learning about me? If it's a one-way relationship, then you're giving up in that sense and you're not building the type of relationship you want. So Softweed asks, what's a simp? From my understanding, a simp is a person who is willing to completely divulge themselves, give everything. Maybe they'll give money, maybe they'll give time, maybe they'll give emotional energy to someone without the expectation of anything in return, without working on building something with them. It's just a one-way street, and a lot of times it's just to get noticed by them, to get their attention. A lot of times it happens with people who are more insecure with themselves. They don't feel comfortable and confident with themselves, so they're just trying to clamor for this person to pay attention to them. Sometimes people do that when it comes to celebrities as well, but that's a separate thing. We can get into that. I want to jump in here. Hamish, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. Does it appear here? Well, this thing isn't working correctly, but your super chat would appear here, Hamish. I have to fix that. Anyway, thank you for the super chat, Hamish. Hamish said, "Hey, Josh, I respect my mom who is helping me out with dating, but I don't feel comfortable talking to my dad about this." Hamish, I get where you're coming from on that. I think that's a very, very common issue, that maybe you are more connected with one parent than the other. My just instinctual idea is that maybe you connect better with your mom because you feel like your mom maybe is more sympathetic, more understanding, more compassionate, and maybe you feel like your dad doesn't exhibit those qualities. Maybe if you try to talk to them about dating, that happens a lot sometimes with men, that they feel like, oh, I don't want to get into the mushy stuff with my son. That's, let my wife do that. Let my wife deal with that. So that's something that I think that sometimes happens with a lot of parents, but if you feel more comfortable talking to your mom, then I would just really explore that more. What is it about talking to your dad that makes it an uncomfortable experience? Because I think it's important to have an open relationship with your father as well, where you can talk about your feelings, you can mention them, and your father can even mention his feelings as well. But not every relationship is like that. It's not always that simple, and I understand. But Hamish, thank you so much for the £5 super chat, man. I truly, truly appreciate it. Okay, let's see what some of you guys are saying here. Nicola says, "Who's your favorite staff, Josh? We need answers." Oh man, favorite staff? Oh, this is tough. Dono is awesome. Ravage is awesome. Both the Anthonys are awesome. Softweed is always a fun person in the stream. We got an awesome community in there. Just really cool people. Ty is in there now. Hamish is in there. Just great and fun people. So I'm really happy. And since we're talking about the Discord, I'm going to share the Discord here. For some of you that don't know, we have a Discord channel. It's the Josh Speaks community. If you go over to the joshspeaks.com/Discord, you can join our community as well. It's just an awesome, awesome place. So many fun conversations in there. So many inside jokes and memes that come about. Dono just creates tons and tons of little Josh emojis that he uses all the time, which is just great. And it's just a fun place. I think it's a good place to share your experiences. So, for example, we have a dating board if you want to talk about a conversation you have with your crush and you want to get feedback from people who are working towards being their best selves as well. It's the perfect place to go. So definitely check out our Discord channel, guys. I think you'd have a super fun time in there. Okay, I want to jump into the second point here. Let's move along. Move along. It's him. Blast him. Does anyone know where that's from? Okay. Point number 2. Another situation you might encounter that stops you from dating your crush is that they're already dating someone else. Now, this is the topic that I talked about in my video over on Tuesday, where I broke down, hey, you like someone, they flirt with you, but for some reason, they're dating someone else. They have a boyfriend, they have a girlfriend, and you just don't really understand why. Why do they flirt with you? Why do they communicate with you in that way? Well, the fact that they're dating someone else is a major reason why you're probably not going to be able to date them. So, let's talk about that just for a few minutes here. Yes, we have a Pokecord board on the Discord, and it's really, really cool, guys. I think that's such an awesome add-on you guys added on there, as well as Akinator. Akinator is great as well. Okay, so let's talk about this. They're dating someone else. What do you do about that situation, right? If you want to date your crush, but they already have a boyfriend or girlfriend, how do you navigate that situation? Well, this is what I've talked about in the past. It's that you never want to be a person's second choice. So, thinking clearly, let's say a girl who has a boyfriend is talking to you, and every so often she opens up to you and vents about her boyfriend, or just talks about how she's lonely and she just needs someone to hear her, chances are she's lacking that in her relationship if she doesn't feel comfortable talking to her boyfriend. Or sometimes she needs to talk to someone about her boyfriend, right? That's a normal thing too. But I think that if you feel like you're dedicating a lot of energy and time and emotion to a crush of yours, but you know darn well that they're going to stay with their boyfriend or girlfriend, they're not going to leave their relationship, that they even love them, but they still talk to you, I don't think that's a good place for you to kind of settle for. You should never settle for that second choice position where if they break up with their boyfriend, if they just decide to stop dating them, then maybe they'll turn to you. You always want to be in a position where you're talking to someone, you're getting to know them better, and you know that they feel the same way about you, because in a situation where you're just chasing someone with the hope that one day they'll turn around and like you back, I think you're wasting your time. I think that you're not putting yourself first. You're putting them first. And once you start putting someone else first, you start to sacrifice more of yourself. It becomes easier to sacrifice more of yourself. To say, yeah, whenever I talk to her after the conversations, I feel really bad because I know I can't date her. You're sacrificing your own happiness just so that she can feel like she has someone to talk to. So I think it's incredibly important to really remember, guys, if you like someone and you want to date them, but they're dating someone else, you need to kind of give them that ultimatum in a way and let them know, hey, I want to get to know you better. I want to build something here, but you're dating someone else. And I'm not going to cross any lines, and I'm not going to do anything that makes me feel uncomfortable. So if you'd like to pursue and see what we have, let's do that. But you have to break up with your boyfriend first. You need to let them know where you stand. Otherwise, they're going to keep taking more and more of your time and energy, and you're not going to ultimately lead that connection to what you want. So I want to jump in here and do a chat poll here, guys. Are we voting for president? We're voting for president and vice president, guys, of the Discord. Okay, let's jump into a chat poll here. I want to ask you guys this question. I want to know, guys, how do I want to form this question? If the crush that you have right now is dating someone else or were to start dating someone else, would you change the way that you interact with them? So let me explain that a little bit. Let's say you're talking to someone right now, but then they get into a relationship. Would you give them an ultimatum and say, hey, look, I notice you're in a relationship. I like you. I'm trying to build something. Or would you kind of fall to the back and say, oh, you know what? I'll just become a friend and maybe I'll get friend zoned, but at least I can talk to them. Would you settle for the friend zone and still continue talking to them? Or would you kind of give them more of an ultimatum there and let them know, hey, this is where I stand. If you like me and I like you, let's make this happen. I'm curious, guys, which would you lean more towards? Maybe I didn't explain that as well, but hopefully those who understood it can jump in and say. Donna's saying we need to have a Discord election. That would be fun. I agree. I think a Discord election would be really fun. But yeah, so I asked you guys, I'm seeing a lot of yeses in the chat. I don't really remember what I said that was yes worthy, but I'll reframe the question, I guess. So if your crush was in a relationship, would you give them an ultimatum, or would you stay as a friend and fall into the friend zone? Friend zone or ultimatum? Here, you could type one of those, I guess, in the chat. We'll make that easier, I guess. Lulu Lyric said, I would probably give them the ultimatum. I honestly am an all or nothing kind of person. Yeah, I hear you on that. Ravish says, probably not, Josh, but like our friendship is pretty damn good, so we'll be fine. Yeah, we'll probably be fine. I hear you on that as well. Josh Cole says, yeah, I think most guys can relate friend zone crushes. Cheesy says, no, I wouldn't. I'm open for everything. I'm lucky that I've never been picked over others, so I guess I'm playing my cards right. Felipe says, give them the ultimatum. Anthony says, I would tell them because I've done it in the past. Yeah, sometimes you just have to let them know. Tyree says, I would want to, but I think I'd be too scared. I hope that never happens. I hear you on that. Dono says, settle for the friend zone. Let's see. Pokemon says, don't have a crush, sadly. Josh says, if she gets with someone else, I'd be a little broken. Giles, Jills, Samsoon says, no, I wouldn't stay the same. Maybe give them more space, but I would be happy overall that my crush found her happiness. Totally understandable there. Arsenal says, not sure because we're besties. It's so much better than being in a relationship, so I don't know yet. I hear you on that. Nicola says, no and no. I'd probably lose all contact if she friend zoned me. Yeah, guys, this is a tricky situation. I don't think that there's like totally cut them off or totally just become a friend in the friend zone. There's obviously a lot of gray area here, right? Sometimes you can maintain a friendship with someone, but you keep it at further distance so that if they do break up, then you can maybe come back in and build a relationship with them. I think sometimes, though, it's like you just have to ask yourself ultimately, how would I feel maintaining this relationship with them? If it's going to hurt me knowing that I can talk to them but I can't date them, then it is best to cut them off, to give them the ultimatum, to let them know where you stand so that you don't continue hurting yourself. So I think that's something you have to ultimately think about, guys. Rock Kid says, I don't think you give good advice, Josh. I'm sorry, Rock Kid. I apologize if what I share, just my own thoughts on things, isn't up to your liking. Chili and fart, he also said. Norbio, I like hot Indians. I'm going to assume Rock Kid is a troll, but we'll leave it at that. Jake Cohen said, don't really have a crush at the moment, so I don't know what I would do. Yeah, I hear you on that, Jake. It's not always easy. I think ultimately, like I said, I think what's important, though, is to ask yourself, what do I feel comfortable with here? Am I okay with having this person know that I like them and liking this person, but knowing that I'm always second to them, second on their mind? I think that's something we need to think about. Noah says, hey Josh, my crush always avoids me whenever I wave. What should I do? How do I become better? How do I become better than the guy she likes in my fourth period class who she keeps looking at? Noah, I totally get where you're coming from on that. I think that if you want to stand out compared to other people and other guys, one of the things you can probably try to focus on doing is take the things that make you unique and interesting and bring that front and center. Because it's not really a competition between you and another guy, right? If she likes the other guy, she likes him for a reason. Maybe it's the way he looks, maybe it's the way he acts, maybe he's confidently talking to her. And those are all things that you can do, all things you can work on as you get closer to your crush. So prioritize your best qualities and bring those forward when you talk to your crush. But I want to move on to point number 3 here. And I want to say this, guys. Point number 3 is this. Oh, that's from last stream. Okay. This point. When we're talking about situations that might stop you from dating your crush, you guys might come from different backgrounds or religions or cultures. Now, before I get into that point, though, I do want to point out, Azim, thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat, man. I truly, truly appreciate it. Let's jump into Azim's question. Azim said, hey, Josh, I know that being locked down kind of limits a girl's options too in terms of a boyfriend. But that being said, I feel like the biggest obstacle in and of itself is quarantine. I miss approach and flirt. Yeah, Azim, I get where you're coming from there. You know, being in lockdown does make it incredibly difficult to talk to a girl, get to know her better. And you said here, and kind of limit the girl's options in terms of boyfriend. But yeah, so I guess ultimately it's going to be harder for people to want to commit to a relationship, to decide, hey, I want to start dating someone. I want to be in a relationship. I want to be in a relationship. Hold on, does it pop up? Oh, there we go. Oh, I got to make that text smaller. Anyway, it's going to be hard for someone to commit to being in a relationship if they feel like they're not going to be able to see that person or they're not going to be able to interact with them. But that doesn't mean that all hope is gone, right? You still have the option, I think, of spending time talking to them, getting to know them better, flirting with them, doing video chats with them, having online dates. These are still options that exist. It's going to be harder than meeting in person and flirting and joking, but we have to utilize... We have to utilize what's at our hands. Being quarantined sucks, and it sucks for all of us, and we're all struggling with it. But it doesn't mean that communication ends. I know sometimes that, and I feel it too, some days where it's like being in quarantine, not being able to go out, not being able to see people and interact with them like you used to, maybe at school or just in the neighborhood or whatever it was. Not having that option is very draining. So sometimes you might just feel like, I'm not even energized to do anything right now. I'm energized to talk to anyone. That can happen sometimes. That's why I think it's important to try to keep your mind focused on your hobbies, your interests, and something you can pursue daily, because that's then going to give you the energy to communicate with more people and to talk to them and to get to know them better. So, Azim, I totally get where you're coming from there. The old method of approaching and flirting and doing that at school or doing it at work or doing it at the mall or whatever it is was a better and easier system when it came to being able to show more of yourself. But let's utilize... Oh, I shouldn't have eaten before the stream. keep burping. I'm sorry, guys. Let's really utilize the tools we have at hand. And that is video chatting, that is DMing, that is interacting with their content, commenting on their pictures, tagging them in things. And that is, making the most of what we have. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you so much again, Azim, for the $10 super chat. I truly appreciate it, man. And plus, Azim, we got to set up that video chat. For those of you guys who don't know, Azim, just like Ty, just like Hamish, just like a few people in the stream here, are all, oh my God, I hope I don't get the hiccups, are all either patrons or YouTube channel members. So what are the perks of being a patron over on Patreon or a YouTube channel member? Well, I hope I don't get the hiccups. One of the perks is that by becoming a champion level member, we can talk once a month. Sorry guys. I have the hiccups, I think. Trying not to have the hiccups. The benefits of being a channel member is that we can have a one-on-one video chat every single month. Also, I'm going to organize a group community chat so that we can get all the different patrons, YouTube channel members together to jump on and have a video chat with each other. Dono shared the link right there. Dono is also a member, a YouTube channel member as well. Plus, by becoming a YouTube channel member, you get access to the cool emojis that are featured here, all created by Dono, because Dono's awesome. So you guys can use that in the live stream like Ty just did there. Josh drinking the water. Very meta. And also, if you're interested in being able to talk one-on-one every single month and some of the other cool perks that come with it, like shout-outs at the end of my videos, check out either Patreon or becoming YouTube channel member, guys. Okay. I do want to get to point number 3. You come from different backgrounds or religions. This is something that, or cultures or races or whatever it may be. This is a challenging one, a very, very challenging one, guys, because sometimes the thing that is holding you back from being in a relationship with someone is something that really is completely out of your hands. You don't choose your race. You don't choose your background sometimes. Sometimes you don't even feel like you choose your religion. Maybe you fall into a religion or you grow up with a religion. And sometimes the differences you may have with your crush can be that in and of itself, and that may be the block or the holder that's preventing you guys from dating. So I've spoken to a lot of you guys. Some of you guys are in situations where maybe you're religious and your crush isn't, and you feel like that's a deal breaker. You like this person and you enjoy talking to them, but because maybe they don't believe in God, you feel like I can't connect with them, or vice versa. Maybe you're someone that is agnostic and that person is Muslim, and you might feel like, hey, like when they talk about Allah and everything and the Quran, I just don't connect to that. I don't feel it, but I like them. They're fun, but we don't connect on that level. Sometimes you may feel like your backgrounds are different. Look, I've spoken to some of you guys too, and to be real here, some of you guys have messaged me and told me, hey, listen, I'm a young black kid and I like this white girl in my class, but her friends don't like me because I'm black, or her parents don't like me because I'm black. These are real obstacles that people face, real challenges that people encounter. And sometimes it's like, it has nothing to do with who you are as a person or your character. It has everything to do with all these outside characteristics that people make judgment calls for. So how do you navigate those tough situations? How do you navigate these challenges that you may feel are beyond your personality or your interests or just what you genuinely like and who you are? Well, I think for starters, it's important to kind of really focus on what the shared values are. So let's say you guys are both from different religions, right? Ty asked, hey Josh, are you Catholic? I don't associate with any religion. I'd probably consider myself agnostic would be the closest, I guess, label, if you wanted to give me labels. For me, I'm always in the search for truth. I feel like there's a lot of knowledge and wisdom in religious stories. So I love to read religious stories of all religions that I can to understand how these ideas came to be and how people have come to be. And like I said, for myself, I look for shared values of my own along with other people. And I feel like that's the connection. And I think that's the connection you need to have with your crush, guys, because you and your crush may come from different religions or different backgrounds. But what are the shared experiences? Do both of you guys care about kindness? Do you care about helping people? Do you care about forgiveness? Do you care about charity and offering help to others? Those are generally shared values that you'd find across most religions. So that's something you can connect with your crush over. It doesn't have to be the specific details of everything. It could simply be the shared values that both of you have. And sometimes when it comes to you guys coming from different races or backgrounds or cultures, I think having an open mind to learning about what shapes us is going to not only help you have a better chance with your crush, but it's going to make you a more open-minded person in the world. Some people are just closed off, and some people are unwilling to listen to others or see their viewpoints or to see where they're coming from. And I think that limits them. It limits their ability to be kind. It limits their ability to be caring. It limits their ability, honestly, to be their best selves. Because really, to be your best self means that you're open to new experiences and new knowledge. You're always trying to better yourself and grow. And you can only do that by listening and understanding, not by being closed off and being fixed in your mindsets. I want to jump in and ask you guys a question here. We'll do a chat poll, and I'm curious, guys. When it comes to culture and background and religion like that, have you ever felt or have you ever liked someone that was different from you in that way? Maybe your crush came from a different culture, maybe they were a different race or they had a different background. Have you ever liked someone that was kind of opposite of you in that way? Thinking back on my own life, I've had crushes on people that were religious, but for myself, I wasn't as religious. And I never felt like that was a deal breaker. I was always willing to understand how they believed what they believed and why they believed it. And I was always open to that. Maybe when I was younger, I think I was a little bit more confrontational. But as I've gotten older, I've become a lot more understanding of other people. And I feel like, that's something I'm really aiming to do. Hey, our troll, the resident troll, changed his name to the Josh Speaks. If you're going to mimic me, you have to at least, I think that's Rock Kid, right? Oh, it's not Rock Kid. Rock Kid is a different one. The Josh Speaks is in here. There's two of us, guys. But have you ever had a crush on someone that was of a different background of some kind? Yancey says yes. Let's see. Ty says yes, I have. Hamish says, Hamish. Hamish, don't worry about Rock Kid. I think he's our resident troll. Every stream we have one resident troll that sits under the bridge and just tries to interrupt the conversation, guys. Everyone in here is having a good time. Oh, it's not Rock Kid. We have an impersonator. I apologize, Rock Kid. I didn't mean to assume it was you. Maybe it's another Rock Kid. Anyway, I want to see what you guys had to say. Sam Leach says, "Hey Josh, I feel like I want to keep my relationship and crushes private from my parents and to myself, but I don't know if that's a good mindset to have. What do you think?" Sam, it's a personal choice ultimately. Sometimes you may not feel comfortable sharing with your parents because you're afraid that they're going to ask a lot of questions or get involved. But ultimately, I think as time goes on and you start dating this person longer and longer, it's for the best to involve your parents because like if you're too young, maybe they can drive you to the movies or wherever you need to go. If you ever have any relationship problems, there are always people you could turn to. If you have questions later on about anything sexual or anything like that, your parents are good people to turn to. So ultimately, in the long run, it's probably better to open up and share with your parents. But I understand if you don't feel like you're there right now. I totally get that. Let's see. Hamish says yes. Ravish says all the time. Ryan Raison says yes. Devil C. Wesker says yes. Guile says, in terms of race, yeah, it's different. Oh, where'd it go? It's different, but we see things mostly the same way. But the thing is, my parents don't want to listen to me. They only see race. Any help? Yeah, Giles, I hear where you're coming from on that. Sometimes parents, like I said before, parents aren't perfect. They're people, right? They're people just like you and me. And sometimes parents have insecurities. Sometimes they have prejudice. Sometimes they have bias. And it's important to recognize that when our parents are exhibiting that, when they're judging someone on a characteristic like their skin color or their race or their religion, and they're just deciding that this person is not good, this person is not worthy enough for you, this person is not worth talking to. It's important to recognize when our parents are doing it so that we can make a better choice, so that we can step outside of that and we can say, hey, wait a second, that's not a positive way to view people. It's actually a negative way to view people. So recognizing that, I think, is going to be helpful in the long run. I saw a question. Oh, and Andre says, yes, my girlfriend believes in God and I hardly don't. I'm an agnostic atheist, but I kind of feel like the Greek gods are kind of the most logical. Interesting. So, Andre, I think to have that conversation with her would mean, what is it about the Greek gods that you feel from their teachings, from their stories that you can pull? What are the values you can pull from that? And what are the values that maybe her belief in God align? So maybe one of the values of Greek God is to not fall into jealousy or greed, right? There's a lot of stories of Greek gods and that tie into jealousy or greed. And that's something you say, hey, I want to be conscious and mindful of that. Well, learning to not be greedy and not be jealous is something you'd find in most major religions. So maybe you guys share that value, and that's something you can say, hey, we actually see eye to eye on this value. Try to look at it more in that perspective, and I think you'll see that you guys have a lot more in common than you think. Jack Sevilla says, no, I don't mind culture and religion, but my parents. I hear you on that. Sometimes parents just really have a strong hold on who they allow us to interact with. And it's tough, guys. I hear where you're coming from. Noah says, she's Hispanic and I'm half Middle Eastern and Asian, but we do look alike a little bit. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you guys look similar in that sense, then it might actually make it easier for you guys to be around each other and interact. James Cooper says, the question is, have you ever had a crush that has a different race or religion or background? Yeah, I mean, I think he's sharing that crush for maybe someone who asked. Yeah, I mean, and that's generally what we're going with. That's a tough situation to navigate because sometimes you may feel like those qualities are things that you don't have control over, right? Like, if your crush loves playing video games and you hate video games, that's an easy thing. You can say, all right, we just don't like the same thing. But when it's something tied to your core, when it's your race or your religion or your background or your culture, it's a lot more difficult. And those are tough situations. But the best thing, like I said, look at shared values. Be open to understanding other people and seeing who they are as a person. Who do they exhibit themselves as in the world? Brotato Chip, I love that name, says, hey Josh, my mom is always like, who is this girl you're talking to? And it gets annoying after a while. Yeah, I hear you on that. If your mom is asking too much and you feel like she's being a little bit invasive in your life, well, then the best thing I think you can do is to kind of let her know, hey, I don't always feel comfortable telling you about everyone that I'm talking to because I don't really know where it's going. But if I get a serious girlfriend or I move into having a serious relationship, I want to share it with you. So letting her know that sometimes you don't feel comfortable sharing maybe the smaller steps and you're okay with sharing the bigger steps might kind of help set a boundary there where she could be a little bit more respectful. Devil says she believes in Greek gods like Thor. See what you guys are saying here. Jalen says, Josh, I'm black, but my crush is Mexican Hispanic. So Jalen, do you feel like because you're black and she's Mexican that it creates a barrier or makes it more difficult for the two of you to connect? Okay, let's jump in. See, I want to jump in and ask the fourth point here, guys. Now, before I do that, I do want to share this. Right after this live stream is the Instagram after party. So what's the Instagram after party? Well, after this live stream, I go live over on Instagram, right? It's a lot more laid back, it's a lot more chilled. And these live streams, I kind of cover a topic and I walk you through points. The Instagram one, it's free for all. Jump on, hit the little video request button, and I love to bring you guys on. We could talk about anything that's on your mind. It's just fun to chit chat and catch up with you guys. So make sure to follow me over on Instagram right over there, instagram.com/thejoshspeaks. So you guys can kind of join the live stream, have a good time. Just party with us. It's fun. Okay. Austin says, I agree. Modern religions always say God is perfect and he loves us, but I know this world is far from perfect. Interesting, Austin. Yeah, I mean, I personally, I'm not religious, but I love to talk about religion. Like I said, I love to discover new ideas and hear where people develop their beliefs, their mindsets, and how they see the world. Anthony says, Josh, can you let the OG members on first today? Yeah, I'll try to bring on some OGs at the beginning there. All right, let's jump into the fourth point here, guys. We're walking through these tough situations. Let's try to get through them. Number 4, there's a noticeable age difference. This is something that a lot of you guys have messaged me about because it's confusing for you. And it's confusing because sometimes you like someone that's younger or sometimes you like someone that's older. And you might be asking, is it possible for me to date them? Is it weird? Are people going to look at me weird? Are people going to think I'm a creep for going after someone younger? These are always tough situations to navigate, especially if you like that person, because there's a lot built into social pressure, right? When it comes to age, you might feel the social pressure of like, oh, people are going to judge me. People are going to make fun of me. People are going to call me names if my girlfriend is in high school and I'm in college, or I'm in middle school and I'm dating someone in high school. These are incredibly tough situations to navigate. So what's the best way to navigate them? Well, here's what I would say. Here's my opinion on an age difference and how to handle that when it comes to dating your crush. I think that ultimately, if you're someone that's under 18, you have to kind of have your parents' permission first, right? It's like I said in the very beginning of the stream, your parents may not be okay with you dating. You could be 15 years old, you could be 16, and they may just not allow you to date. So if you want to date someone that's older or younger, it's important to first talk to your parents about it. Let them know, hey, I like this person. They're a year younger than me. They're 2 years younger than me. They're 3 years older than me. Whatever it may be, talk to your parents first. Let them know what's going on. Because if your parents can be on board with you dating them, then I think that's the first step towards figuring out whether or not you guys can actually have a relationship. Now, as you talk to your parents about it, let them know that you like the person and let them know what you guys have in common, where you feel there's an overlap. Look, at the end of the day, your parents may just say, yeah, the age gap is just too big. I don't feel comfortable with it. And that's okay. You move on. But I think that if you want to try to make something work, you have to start with your parents. Now, the second step is that I always say, I think it's better to date or to try to date within your school range. So I would say school range is, if you're in high school, stick with someone that's in high school. If you're in college, stick with someone in college. If you're in middle school, stick with someone in middle school. Now, the reason I say that is because if you're both in high school, let's say, there's a higher likelihood that you guys are having a very similar experience in your life. You're both working towards maybe going to college or getting a job, taking your SATs. These are the things you're both focused on doing. But when there's a bigger age gap, you may feel a connection with that person, but you might be in different life stages with different focuses, right? You may be someone that's getting ready to go off to college and they may be getting ready to, I don't know, start high school or something like that, and that's a huge age gap, which, like I said, talk to your parents before you do anything at all. But it's those situations where you may not always realize, wow, we actually are at different maturity levels, or we actually, we're focused on different things in our lives. So really try to think about that along with getting permission from your parents. Now, I'm curious, guys. Wrong one. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Have you ever had a crush on someone that was older or younger than you? And if so, what was that age difference? How many years apart were the two of you? I've had crushes on people that were older than me, a year or so older than me. I've had crushes on people that were younger than me, a year or so younger than me. My second girlfriend was 2 or 3 years younger than me. So when I was, how old was I? I don't remember when we were dating, but either way, she was 2 or 3 years younger than me. So that was probably the biggest age gap, that I've ever experienced there. But I've had crushes on people of different ages here and there. Curious, guys, what's your age gap been with your crush? If you've liked someone that's a different age than you. Sam Lee says, how to know what the socially acceptable age to date someone younger is divide your own age by 2, then add 7. I think that only works if it's over the age of 18 or over the age of 19 or something like that. I forgot what the math is on that, but there's something that's it starts at a certain age and on. Your boy Taco Tasks, if you're old and try to date a minor, etc., that's a no. Absolutely. I think that's my whole point in this too. It's that if you're someone that's 18 and older, you just should not be trying to get with anyone younger. That I think is it. I'm stating it because I feel like it needs to be said, but it should just be understood. Hopefully, it's understood. That's why I said it's like if you're in college, focus on college level people. There's no need to kind of try to go back. 1, because it may be illegal. 2, the parents are not going to be on board with it. And 3, like I said, you're not going to have anything in common with them. And that's important to remember, guys. Let's see. Rock Kid says, I've had 2 years apart. Devil says, as long as you aren't over 20 and she's not below 18, you're fine. I mean, I think if you're over the age of 18, like I said, the challenge you're going to have is, are you both in the same place in life, right? Like a person can be 19 years old and date someone who's 30 years old, let's say, and yeah, they're both older, but are they in the same place in life? Is a 19-year-old aiming for the same type of life experience as a 30-year-old is? So that's something to take into account. Let's see. Gil says, crush 1 year older. Noah says no. So Noah's only had crushes on people that were pretty much the same age. Joshua Sevilla says, I'm white, she's Filipino, she's 21, and I'm 20. I've been texting, calling each other for a while. I don't know what to say to my parents, and we like each other. Yeah, I mean, you're both older, so it's possible that, hey, look, you both may want to start dating and stuff. Sometimes parents, like I said, can get involved, and it can feel a bit overbearing. So I think it's important to talk to your parents about what's going on in your life, to let them know, because if you don't, and you kind of come out later and say, I've been dating this person for a few months, they may feel like you were doing it behind their back and you weren't being honest with them. Andre says, yes, I had a crush on a girl who is an amazing person who I still talk to, but as a big sister. She is 2 years older, but she is a delight to be around. Yeah, sometimes you may just want to focus on just building a friendship with that person and leaving it at that. Ryan Raisin says, yes, every single time because I'm young for my grades, so most girls are a year older than me. I hear you on that. Cheyenne Hall says, my boyfriend is 13 and I'm 14, so 1 year apart. Anthony James says, younger, but we were both the same year and it's the same age as me. She's in 7th grade, but we were only 2 months apart. She says she was held back. Yeah, if you guys are the same age, even if you're in a different grade, or you know what I mean, whatever, I hit the mic. Whatever the case is there, if you guys are in the same kind of age bracket, I think that, like middle school and stuff, then I think it's okay. But like I said, first talk to your parents, see if they're okay with you dating in the first place. Okay, I want to jump into the 5th point here because I only have a little bit of time left. Okay. The 5th situation that might stop you from dating your crush, guys. This is an important one. There might be a lot of red flags. Now, this is something I really want to dive into and break down, guys. Because just because you like someone and you have strong feelings for them doesn't mean that they're a good person for you to date. It doesn't mean that they're the right person for you to date. Feelings can sometimes be incredibly misleading. Just because you have a romantic connection to someone doesn't mean that they're going to be a good partner for you. There are lots of people that get into relationships with people that they think are hot or attractive, only to find out that that person is mean, that they're jealous, that they're violent, that they're insecure, that they are not supportive. So just because you're attracted to someone doesn't mean that they are going to be a good partner. And I want you guys to really think about that one of the challenges you may be facing is being able to commit to someone that you know is a bad partner for you, but you like them, right? Like, you may come across a girl that is just really insecure or rude and stuck up, but she's hot and you want to date her. So you're kind of gripping this idea of like, do I keep pursuing her? Do I keep flirting with her? Do I keep talking to her? Even though I know that she's going to make me miserable and sad and make me feel bad about myself. These are real challenges that I think that people run into, real challenges you guys may be facing. And I'm going to do a quick chat poll here just to hear what you guys have to say. Have you ever had a crush on someone that you knew wouldn't be a good partner for you? You just know, you knew that the relationship would not be a healthy one, but you liked them anyway. And that's that. Rage Master says rush relationship is a red flag. Yeah, I agree there too. If you end up rushing into a relationship with someone just to date them because you like them without really taking the time to get to know them, that's a red flag, guys. That's a sign you should be looking for to say, hey, whoa, this is maybe not the person I should be pursuing. Maybe I got to be a little bit more level-headed and clear-minded about this, guys. So I want you to really think about that. Really think about whether or not this is the right person for you to be pursuing if you're starting to see those red flags. So I asked you guys here, have you ever liked someone that you knew probably wouldn't be a good partner for you? Here's what you had to say. Sorry. Rock Kid saying my clones are getting annoying. Let's see. Rock Kid says, yeah, that happened to me. Ravage says, Rock Kid, we don't even know who's who. I don't even know who's who anymore. Am I the Josh Speaks? Or am I Rock Kid? I don't even know. Austin says yes. Demogorgon says no. MCQ Ghetto says all the time. Joshua Sevilla says no. Jake says no. Synchro says yeah. Jalen says no, not really. Andre says, no, not really, but my friend has, and he loves your videos. We idolize you, man. We'll be a patron soon, both of us. Thank you so much, Andre. I'm happy my videos are helpful in some kind of way. If I can bring you value in any kind of way, I'm happy with that. I'm happy knowing that I can help you. So thank you for watching the channel and supporting any way you can. Demogorgon says, I've only had one crush, and that was in October. I still like her. Anthony says, yes, my first middle school girlfriend. She used me for money, Dutch Bros, and chocolates. Yeah, guys, look, sometimes we get into relationships with people only to realize, wow, they're just not a good partner. And even though we'll see red flags and we see that, hey, they're not the best person for me, we just are still drawn to them, right? We get drawn to those toxic kind of relationships. And sometimes you may see those red flags even before you start dating, but you still go ahead with it because you like them. And it's not easy. It's not easy to turn around when you have feelings for someone. But that's why I said it's important to put yourself first, because you really need to think, is this a person that's going to help me on my path forward in growth? Or are they a person that's going to bring me to drama and give me a headache and make things hard for me and make me feel bad about myself? You really want to make sure you don't fall into a relationship with someone like that. And part of that is willpower. Part of that is really vetting that person, getting to know them better to make sure that you're not getting with them just because they're there and you want to get with them. MCQ Ghetto says, is there a point where you should stop trying if you've been trying for a long time and no progress? Yes, absolutely, MCQ Ghetto. I think that if you feel like you're not making progress with someone, the point where I would say turning around is if you ask them to hang out one-on-one, you say, hey, we should hang out sometime, and their reason is beyond just, I was busy that day, I had schoolwork. Their reason is like, I'm not interested. I don't really like you. If they kind of flat out tell you that they just don't want to spend time with you one-on-one, then they're not someone worth pursuing. No. Sometimes people are not that straightforward. Sometimes people do give you the runaround. So it's important for you to see through the lines and to realize, hey, do they just not want to hang out with me? If that's the case, I'm not going to waste my time. Azim says, Josh, you mentioned religion earlier, and let's say you have family members don't accept stuff like dating, then how do you get them to respect your decision in everything you want to do? That's a really good question, Azim. Like I said, you may want to date, but your parents may feel like, no, you should wait till marriage, or you wait till you're older, or something like that. I think ultimately, as you get older, as you mature, I think your parents and your family are going to have to realize that you are someone who can make decisions and choices for yourself. And the best way to go about getting them on board is to explain your choice, to let them know how important it is to you to share how you feel and to pursue the things that matter to you. They may not understand it and they may not like it, but you want to let them know that as long as there's a space where you guys can talk about your feelings, that's going to be the ground that you guys share. You may not agree on ideas, but you can agree on the grounds of let's talk and share things with each other. Hamish, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. Hamish said, I'm so glad to be from the pain my ex caused me. Thank you so much, Hamish. So yeah, Hamish, I get where you're coming from on that. Look, the major struggle and the real challenge I think a lot of people face is that sometimes they're dating exes and they're just in these bad relationships. And it's like, it's not until you escape and you can reflect on it and say, whoa, that's not the kind of partner I want. I don't want to be treated like that. I don't want to be talked to like that. I deserve better. I'm a good person. I know that I deserve better from my partner. It's not until we can really reflect on that we can turn around and say, all right, the next person I date, I'm going to have a higher standard for myself, for what I'm willing to accept from that person. Thank you so much for the £2 super chat, Hamish. I want to walk through my 5 points again here, guys. Like I said, if you haven't already hit the thumbs up on this video, I truly, truly appreciate it if you did. And I definitely want to walk through these points and then use the sound of the bell before we jump over to Instagram, guys, for the after party. So let's do that. Let's walk through these 5 points one more time. So when we're talking about tough situations that might stop you from dating your crush, let's walk through that, guys. First situation here, your parents won't let you date them. This is a common one, especially if you're younger. Your parents may feel like, hey, you're not allowed to date till you're 18, or I don't want you dating because it's going to interfere with schoolwork, or I don't want you dating because I don't feel comfortable with you doing it, right? It's important to talk to your parents, let them know along the way what you're doing, whether it's having a girlfriend or boyfriend, whether you had your first kiss, whether or not you like someone, you want to spend time with them. The open communication is what's going to create the grounds for you to navigate that tough situation in a way that your parents can be more understanding and more aware of where you're coming from. Because if they're in the dark, if they don't know where you're coming from, they're only going to pull the reins in tighter and make it more difficult. Number 2, second tough situation, your crush is already dating someone else. This is a tough one, guys, because look, you like them, you want to be with them, but the challenge is that there's someone else already in the picture. And you may feel like, yeah, my crush flirts with me and they talk to me, but why won't they go out with me? Why are they going out with this other person instead? This can be a real tough spot, because you might find yourself settling to be in the friend zone, settling and saying, well, I can't be with them, and every time I talk to them, it makes me feel bad because I can't be with them, but I'm going to stay in their life, and I want them to stay in my life just so I can talk to them. I think you have to set a higher standard for yourself. If the person you like is using you just to kind of vent, or using you just for attention or time or money or whatever it is, tell yourself, give them an ultimatum. Hey, look, I like you and I want to be with you, but as long as you're dating someone else, I'm not going to continue to pretend like we're building towards something. Stand up for yourself. Number 3, you guys come from different backgrounds or religions. Maybe you guys are different races, or, like you see things differently than them. And even though you like them and they're cool and they're chill and they're fun to hang out with, you just feel like the fact that we don't see eye to eye on some of the most fundamental pieces of who we are is tough. And that could be the real toughest part for you, right? I think in those situations, the best thing for you to do, the very best thing for you to do, is to take time to learn about them, learn about their culture, their religion, and their experience, because they may have a different world experience from you. They may have come across things and heard things from people and seen things that you have never even known were, an actual thing. Take time to really learn about that person. The more you do that, the more you'll see you guys actually do have a lot in common, and you can make it work. Situation number 4, there's a noticeable age difference. Look, age ends up being a huge factor, especially if you have a crush on someone older or you have a crush on someone younger. You may be worried that by pursuing someone, you might get in trouble, or you might get yelled at, or people might think you're weird. In these situations, the very best thing for you to do is to talk to your parents. See if they're okay with you dating that person. Let them know that you like them, and if your parents are on board, then they're going to be supportive of you. You'll have people on your team as you navigate it. And like I said, I think we should all aim to stick within our school range. So if you're in middle school, try to date someone that's in middle school. If you're in high school, date someone in high school. If you're in college, and anything after is anything after. That's fair game. But I think that really kind of focusing on someone that's in the same bracket as you, you're going to notice that you both have similar experiences and you're both pursuing similar things in life. Because sometimes trying to date someone that's a lot older or a lot younger, you're going to realize really quickly that, wow, we're pursuing different things in life and we really don't have the same experiences and pursuits. And number 5, guys, there are a lot of red flags. This is a tough one because sometimes you really like someone and you want to date them and you really want to build something with them, but you start to notice that maybe they're a really jealous person, or maybe they're very insecure. Maybe they're rude to people. Maybe they are selfish, or they are self-absorbed. You might start to notice a lot of these bad qualities in the people that you like, but you still want to date them because you like them. And that's the catch-22. That's the challenging part. If you see these red flags that you know are not going to allow them to be a good partner to you, it's better to not pursue them. It's better to not date them. But if you notice that these are things that you can work with them on, you can talk them through, you guys can build something together, that's going to be a key focus, guys. But don't settle for someone that you know is not going to help you be your best self just because you like them. Okay, guys. And now it is time for a mindful moment. I have my meditation bell here, a little meditation bell, and I'm going to hit the bell, and I want us to take about 10 seconds to think about the points that I shared in this video. Think about which points you feel resonated the most with you, which you feel speak to you on a deeper level, which you can say, yeah, that's something I struggle with, or that's something I know someone else struggles with. And I want us to think about that deeply. I want us to reflect if we can all close our eyes now, everyone watching the stream, let's all close our eyes together. I want us to all reflect on the fact that who we are is enough. What you bring to the table is enough. That you are deserving of love and kindness, and that you will find a partner that can appreciate you. Part of that journey is putting yourself out there and meeting people and discovering more about who you are, but you are deserving of love. Let's hear the bell, guys, and let's think about that as we meditate here. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this live stream. I love talking to you guys, hearing your stories in the stream, hearing your stories in the comments, and just sharing this experience with you. I want you guys to know that, like I said, what you have and what you bring to the table is important, that you matter. And what I want you to do next is to check out the playlist over there on the side. That playlist is going to break down how to navigate these tricky crush situations you might run into. These are other videos I've done that talk about how to navigate that hardship. So check that out, guys, and I will catch you guys over on Instagram for the Instagram after party. And that note, guys, I'll catch you next time. As always, love and peace. See you guys then.